Hey everybody, sit tight for a minute. I'm having oh no. Hey, we're live. How about that? It kept telling me, ha ha ha. It kept telling me that it wasn't working. So we are live. Oh boy, nothing like live television. How about that? We are on episode 397 of the Immigration Answers Show. I hope you all are doing well. That was weird. I haven't gotten that error before from StreamYard, which is the software that we use to stream. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, first of all, I'm tired, so don't give me too much grief today. I'll do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the law of the pack. That's the old Cub Scout oath. I will be here I'm a little loopy. I was out late last night till about 11. Nora and I went to see Tears for Fears. My daughter and I and her friend Lily went to see Tears for Fears, and that was fun, but I am very sleepy. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. If I don't know the answer, I'll probably tell you to call me back on Monday and I'll go look it up. The waiting room is already full. We got people watching all over. Munir is here right on time. Michael's here from Utah. Good to see everybody. Abel is here in Richmond. We got Amy in New York. We got Carolyn Lindsay Abebna down in Little Rock. Very, very nice. Glad you all are here. Let's get to the calls. Looks like XX is back. What's up, XX?
I'm back.
We were talking about you today as in the firm. What's up?
Hello, how are you today? First of all, I watched the live show from yesterday, and I never said thank you for your help yesterday.
That's okay. That's okay. You're upset. Yeah, it's fine.
And I also would like to mention that I spoke to attorney Paul yesterday afternoon on the phone. He was very kind, and I appreciate him talking to me. I have an issue. I have no lawyer who's gonna go with me to the interview.
Well, remember, we're hoping that maybe you won't have the interview because you're gonna withdraw that N400. I think is what I was advising. So if you if we draw the N400, then I think the next question is, do we push to see if there's an interview? I honestly think that if you withdrew the N400 and if they act on it before the interview date, then the 751 interview would go away, which wouldn't be a bad thing because it would give you time to figure out what's going to happen with you and your husband.
So Jim, I was wondering, my husband never filed so far the I-865 change of address as a sponsor. He never did that. Should he do that?
I've never heard of that form or had someone do that. So maybe, but I don't know I guess that form, I've never heard of someone filling out an I-865. I guess that's a form that goes along with the I-864 that says, I, the petitioner, have moved here, but between you, me, and the wall, I've never heard of somebody actually filing that.
The I-865.
Right.
Never. Oh, okay. And then, Jim, do you think the officer would even honor my withdrawal request?
Yeah. If you hurry up and get it in. I mean, if we did it for you, that would probably help too. But which field? Oh yeah, you didn't want to say. Anyway, I can talk to Paul. Let me talk to Paul, because if you're talking to Paul, we probably shouldn't be talking too much on camera anyway, just because you've called the office a couple times, and I don't want to.
We only spoke like for 15 minutes yesterday on the phone, and it was even nice of him that he did that. It's the Northfield office.
Yeah. So, I think the key right now is to get their attention. You're still 3 weeks out. I mean, frankly, have you received any kind of notice that the 751 is being interviewed, or just the N400?
I only have an email from USCIS to the Congress office. Applicants pending Form I-751 will be adjudicated with N400. Currently, there is an interview scheduled for N400, and
that's USCIS telling the congressman, not any notice that you've received.
No. And then the Congress has told me they have been doing that a lot, but then they end up not doing both of the cases on the same day.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said for sure. So I think that given the fact, okay, So I think you are thinking sort of far down the line. And one of the concepts that I talk about all the time here is you just need to do the next right thing. We don't know what's going to happen. The next right thing is to withdraw the N400. We know that that's not approvable. They've changed the interpretation where you have to be living with the U.S. citizen spouse for the full 3 years. So now that he's moved out, the last thing you want is an interview on a 3-year NATS case. So the next right thing is to withdraw the N400 and then see what happens. If you don't get any kind, I mean, you might not even receive a notice given the fact that you haven't received a notice. So that might work itself out, or they might acknowledge your withdrawal of the N400. So you haven't even received an interview notice. So I don't want to worry about 5 things when all I really need to do is worry about the next right thing.
Okay. If I should not get an interview canceling, I'm still gonna go though, right?
If you did not get an interview notifying them to cancel it, notifying you that it was canceled, well, if you actually received the notice, I would say right now we don't know there's an interview coming. We don't know that for sure. You have not received proper notice.
Oh no, I did an interview notice. I did.
Oh, separate from the congressperson.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
it's
okay.
From USCIS. It's dated July 11th.
So in that case, I would show up if they haven't acknowledged the withdrawal, then I would show up and I'd hand them a copy of the letter again and saying I want to withdraw my N400.
And that's all. I don't ask if they want to adjudicate my I-751.
Do you want them to adjudicate the 751 on August 10th?
On August 24th?
Whatever it is.
That would be for me a chance to wind maybe everything.
Your spouse would go with you?
Yes.
So I think if I mean, first of all, if I remember your timeline correctly, August 24th is still only about a year and 8 months into your 751, right? It's not even at the 2-year mark, right?
Yes.
So I believe that if you show up with your spouse and you tell them, hey, just so you know, we don't want to give you any kind of incorrect information. We are currently living apart. We're trying to work things out. We don't know what's going to happen, but here's the evidence of our year and 8 months after we got the green card together. Here's the evidence of our whole relationship. I'm the U.S. citizen, and I'm saying, yeah, it's real. We're just having a rough patch. We don't know what's going to happen. I think there's a 10% chance that they approve that. I think there's a 90% chance that they push it out 6 months or 9 months or a year to see if the marriage collapses or to see what happens, because you're not even at the 2-year mark that most people going through 751s are experiencing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. But Jim, here in Virginia, I can only get divorced if I'm separated for 1 year. Mm-hmm. If I do switch to solo, they're gonna send a request for evidence. I'm not gonna be able to provide a decree within the 85 days window because it takes a year.
Well, so, okay, that's a fair and an important point. This is why I'm not a big believer in one reason of many that I'm not a big believer in converting a jointly filed 751 into a solo, right? And so if things are headed towards divorce, then what I would do is I would let the jointly one filed ride. I would start the divorce, and then once I get divorced or closer to divorce, then I would file a new 751 solo.
I'm sorry, what did you say at the beginning? I would file the jointly 751.
Well, you already did. It's already on file.
Right.
You would let it ride. You would just let it keep going.
Oh.
Which is one reason why you might not want to have your interview now on that 751.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay. And you said 10% chance they might approve it that day?
If you guys show up, I mean, that hardly ever happens. It hardly, I've never had a 751 where the couple gets called in for an interview and the U.S. citizen is kind enough and fair enough and cares enough to actually go and say, yeah, this is the way things really are. Usually it's the non-citizen sort of on their own. It's a big, nasty fight. And if anything, the U.S. citizen's trying to get the person kicked out, right? So
Mm.
if you show up with your spouse, they may be so touched and so amazed that you're honest.
Mm.
They might just say, here's your green card. Here's your 10-year green card.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. I've had it happen on an original I-130 once in my whole career. I've never had it on a 751, but it's certainly approvable and they could do it. I just think more likely the officers are just going to say, I'm going to wait and see what happens and just go put it up on the shelf.
And then the officer would send me a request for evidence, or
they would just sit there probably till you sue them, or they would decide it, or they would approve it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, my husband said he's coming with me, and he's like, I'm gonna tell them that it's a real marriage, and I'm supporting you, and I love you, and but never.
Well,
I would also like to have a lawyer with us,
mm-hmm.
but nobody's kind of willing to come with us because I filed the applications on my own.
Oh, well, you've taken over 751s many times. That's not a big deal.
I know. I did ask, but I do assume there's no capacity since it's also so like in August, end of August.
Oh, we got plenty of time. This is plenty of time. I'm not trying to talk you into hiring us, but you should be able to find a lawyer, whether it's us or somebody else, to go to this interview. That
okay.
You just haven't talked to the right lawyers.
Well, can you not come with me?
Me?
Yeah.
Me? August 24th is really tough because my son's going away to college that week, so I can't. But maybe we have other really good attorneys who might be able to. Why don't you tell Paul you want to talk to me and him together, and then we go from there, okay?
Okay, alrighty. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
You got it. All right, Michael's here. Hello, Michael.
How you doing, sir? Good afternoon.
Thank you for your service, Semper Fi.
Semper Fidelis. All right. Hey, sir. So a while back, I'd say a year and a half ago, I submitted a petition, an I-1 Tag 30, for my parents. They're both from Honduras, trying to make them residents. I'm coming up onto my second tour going overseas. And before that, I'm trying to see if I could request an acceleration to my case. And if the possibilities of it actually getting approved, and how do I go about it?
So your parents are overseas?
Well, they're here. They live in Miami, Florida. I'm stationed in North Carolina. All it is, we're just trying to accelerate the process to potentially either, get papers or not.
So you're a U.S. citizen?
I am.
And your parents entered with inspection, or they had a visa and overstayed, or they entered without inspection?
Without an inspection.
Okay. So, and all you filed so far is an I-130 petition for them?
That's right. But they did go to Honduras once, and then they came back in plane just fine.
And when was that?
That was in 2015.
How did they do that? Do you know?
I mean, they had their TPS.
And they got advanced parole?
Not too sure on that, sir. I mean, I know they're currently under protective status, but it's not a...
Mm-hmm.
It's not...
Mm-hmm. So, Michael, I would say this is something that you need to talk to one of our lawyers in the office about, because there's lots of different things here. There's parole in place. There's if they paroled in through Honduras. There's also now this new family reunification thing that Biden's floating with I-130s. So I think there's different options for your parents, but it's sort of beyond the scope of what I can talk about today. Plus, as I mentioned, I'm really tired and I'm not making a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I understand, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to email the office or email or call, I can tell the team to follow up. Just say, I'm Michael. I was on the show with Jim and I want to talk about what options my parents have. They might have to go overseas. I just need to look at all the documents you have so far.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. All right. My dad was a Marine back in the 60s. So we're always happy to talk to Marines. Let's talk to Meldina. What's up, Meldina? You're
okay.
on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I got you.
Classic Zoom mix-up. Okay, so about a year ago now, almost a year ago, August 11th of last year, my husband and I, our I-130 got approved. I'm the U.S. citizen. He's not. After that, we had to file an 824 because we stupidly forgot to put the city that he would be going to the embassy or consulate to for the interview.
He's overseas?
Yeah, in Morocco. That's where I am now, actually. I ended up coming here with him because we also had our firstborn son in December.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I went back to the US during that time because the 824 was taking a while, and it's still, we haven't got any word on it either. So what we tried to, I understand it takes a while just as everything else does, but we also tried to sneakily file, well, not sneakily, we did it, the I-129F.
For K3?
Yeah, exactly. Just to see if we can get lucky or anything. And so
That's
far,
not bad.
we haven't had,
not a bad play given your situation.
yeah, we haven't had movement on that either. And that was back in April. So again, I know we still have a couple more months till we hit that like threshold of when people usually hear something when it comes to that. But I'm just wondering if you think there's anything else we could do that we haven't tried already. And also we have tried to expedite the 824 with using my son, his birth. There were some complications during his birth. So we tried to use that. We were hoping to find somebody that, you know, had like a soft heart that day, but it didn't get approved. Yeah.
Meldina, where in the States do you live?
Pennsylvania.
Which side?
The east. So I live in Bethlehem, like around Allentown, about an hour north of Philly, hour and a half.
Okay. I mean, the thing about, so I was thinking about 824s today, and really 9 times out of 10, 824s are filed because, no offense, somebody made a mistake, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it was
right?
completely our stupid mistake, 100%.
Yeah. So just so that everybody watching and listening knows, an I-24 is basically where you ask USCIS to take some more action on an approved petition, usually because USCIS got confused as to where the person was, whether they were in the United States and were going to adjust status, or vice versa, they were overseas and going to consular process. And so sometimes the person's here in the United States and they think it's an overseas case, or the person's overseas and they think it's an adjustment case. So all that being said, I say that because I was thinking to myself, boy, USCIS, I bet, really is in no hurry to decide I-824s, because they sort of say they're going to put it at the bottom of the pile just because they're going to say, you know, that's your own damn fault, right?
Yeah.
Now, all that being said, I believe that if we filed a lawsuit against USCIS to get them to decide the I-24, they wouldn't fight on it at all. They would. It's an expensive way to get their attention. Right now, no one's paying attention to where your husband's case is. So what I would say is, if you are interested in trying to get our help with it and wanted us to take over the case from now until he has his interview, we could do the lawsuit pretty cheaply if you were hiring us to do the whole other piece. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And then, I mean, we really have been considering it, because that's what I figured. Like, and we even got my congresswoman to write a letter and everything. And, you know, they're not budging because they are who they are. But we were really considering, our last option is to hire a lawyer. And to be honest, I've contacted 3 lawyers from my area in Pennsylvania, and they're like, oh, sorry, there's nothing we can do to help you. There's nothing we can do to help you, like, at this stage. And so I was kind of like, oh, shoot, like, is there anything that we can do? But I'm glad to hear that you guys would be willing to carry that through for us. And then, of course, we'd be interested in hiring you guys for the MVC part, because we don't want to make any more stupid mistakes, you know. So
send an email, and actually Paul is monitoring the email because our usual email person isn't here. She's studying for the bar. So send an email and say, hey, Paul, I was just on the show with Jim at the 15-minute mark, and he said you'd give me a really good discount on a lawsuit if we were going to hire you also to do the overseas visa case. Okay, my favorite consulate of all, Casablanca. Hey, have you been to Chef Shawan? That's my favorite place in Morocco.
Yeah, of course we have. Yeah, my husband just walked in and he's like, oh, you got on the show. Oh my God. But yeah, we've been there. We've been to a lot of places, but I still haven't been to the desert, believe it or not. The freaking #1 place people come to go. But yeah, to be honest, it's hot enough right now. I don't need to go to no freaking desert.
Yeah. We didn't get to go to Marrakesh because my mother-in-law got sick. So we're coming back. Probably next year's our 25th anniversary. We're thinking about doing Portugal, Spain, and then go grab Marrakesh just because we missed it.
That's a great idea. Congratulations on your anniversary.
Thanks.
And also 100%, 1,000,000% go to Marrakesh and spend all of your time there. Don't bother going anywhere else. It's the best.
Awesome. Thanks, Meldina.
Right.
Nice
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. All right. Well, we're just flying through them today. Huli, how you feeling? You feeling good today? Your cold go away? Nice. All right. Everyone say hi to Huli. She's watching the comments for me. Mike is here. What do you say, Mike?
Hey, sorry, I'm gonna turn my camera off. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but that wind, you got to protect that wind. It's driving me nuts.
Sorry, let me move. Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so quick question. My wife is a DACA recipient. We did advanced parole because she was a EWI, and I'm a U.S. citizen. And so we just filed the adjustment of status a couple weeks ago.
Great.
But the one little twist was, so we're in California, and there's an extension on filing our 2022 taxes, and I haven't been able to get around to doing those. So maybe it was a bad choice, but I filed with without having those done, and basically for the 864, I attached the 3 previous years, so 21, 20, and 19, and then like 6 months of pay stubs. And I'm wondering if I should upload like a employment verification letter as additional evidence, or once I do my taxes, I'm trying really hard to finish up here, upload those as well, or what you think about that.
So first of all, has the I-130 been approved, or you filed it all together?
We filed it all together.
And what's the receipt date for the 485? Roughly.
I don't have that. It was like a month ago.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you should have pushed yourself to get the taxes done. You should push yourselves real hard to get the taxes done now, because it'd be nicer if you could upload it now instead of waiting for the RFE, because the RFE just puts you in a totally different slowed down, slow ass queue. So I would say,
Okay.
I would say, what would happen if I told you I was going to deport your wife if you didn't get your taxes done by next Friday? What would happen?
I think I could get them done.
So obviously that's not going to happen, but I mean, I just want to give you a little bit of urgency. She's here, but she's barely here. Let's get it done, man.
Yeah, totally understand. It was just complicated because I have some business stuff that is making it challenging, but I can make it happen.
Are you income wise? Are you good to sponsor her by yourself?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah, good. So get that thing done, man.
Yeah. Okay, will do. Appreciate it. Thank you,
buddy. You got it. All right, Tanya's here. Hello, Tanya.
Hello, good evening.
How you doing?
Not bad.
What you got for me?
So, my mom filed for me when I was in Jamaica.
Okay.
My priority date is August the 14th, 2017. But when she filed, she was a permanent resident. Now she's a citizen. But I came here on a work visa and I overstayed. So we got the approval letter from 2021. We got approved in March, and then in September they told us that they sent us a welcome letter with our NVC case number and our IVSCA. But the system doesn't upgrade, saying that we are now a F1. It's still giving us that we are still a F2B. And now the priority date is on September 1st, 2017. When you try to go on the system, it's still not allowing us to pay the fee. And then I want a waiver, so in case I have to go back home, I don't get banned.
Well, you are going to need a waiver. What was the priority date last month for F1? So have you notified them that your mom became a citizen? Have you notified them?
Well, they were the one who did it. She go through the system. She do it through Project Citizenship.
Oh yeah, I know, sweetheart. But they never. You're assuming way too much that they're smart enough to know that mom's N400 over here impacts Tanya's I-130 over here. Do you understand? You can't just rest on the fact that mom became a citizen and say, "Ooh boy, I sure hope they figure out that my mom's a citizen." That's not how it works. You have to notify all agencies, USCIS and the National Visa Center, that mom is now a U.S. citizen and that mom wants you to be considered the adult daughter of a U.S. citizen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I text the system that she go through, and they say they were the one who did everything because it was a government thing that she went through.
No, that's not a government. That's a non-for-profit. That's different.
That's what I asked them, and they keep on telling me no. They already updated in their system. I'm like, do you sure I'm not supposed to text her, let them know? She said
Yeah.
no.
She's wrong. She's wrong. You've got to notify them. Otherwise, they're never going to treat you as the adult child of a citizen.
F1.
Yeah, you need to get that started because you're going to need the waiver because you're out of status.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Tanya.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I want to start a debate. I want to start a debate in the comments. I don't know that I'm a big fan of the whole popcorn stuff. I know a lot of us like to joke about popcorn. I don't know, and maybe I'm crabby and tired. That could be Huli telling me if I'm tired and crabby, but I don't know if I like the whole popcorn stuff. These are people's lives. They're having a hard time. They're doing their best. Now, do we get some dopey people here who find themselves in messed up situations? Yeah. But to me, the popcorn stuff seems a little bit mean. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'm sure it's all meant in good spirits, but let's try to be supportive of everybody. I am being a little bit crabby today because I am tired. All right. That being said, let's head to DP. What do you say, DP?
Hey, Jim, how are you? Can I
Good, buddy. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey,
I gotcha.
I'm new to your channel, so thank you for having me on.
Sure.
I have a weird question for you. So I filed the N400 back in 2020, and I'm approved, obviously. But we're under the section where it says, have you ever had a citation? I had put no. But I did get a citation for a social host ticket. And
for what? What ticket?
It's a social host ticket. So it's basically if you throw a party and it gets busted, if there's people who are underage, you'll get a ticket. So like first offense is like $500.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got the ticket from the college town that I went to. I got the ticket, went to court, paid it off, did like a alcohol class within the college, and then it wasn't on my record, is what the judge said.
Okay.
So when I filled the N400, I put no on that, and then I got approved. Like I'm a citizen now ever since.
Yeah. So you're calling me because you're a good person and you're worried and you're feeling anxious about the fact that
No, I have another kicker for you.
Okay.
I'm trying to file a petition for my fiance in Australia, I-29F.
Ah, yes, I see where you're headed. Yes.
And I watched your video today, so thank you for that. So I didn't know if I should disclose this. I went this morning.
What's the exact question on the I-129F?
It says, have you ever been arrested, cited, charged, indicted, convicted, fined, or imprisoned for breaking or violating any law or ordinance in any country, excluding traffic violations, unless a traffic violation was alcohol or drug related or involved a fine of $500 or more?
Okay, so I think that the important distinction. So the question. So just so everybody understands, what DP is worried about is if I have inconsistent answers in two different submissions to USCIS, what's going to happen? And here's how I would come down on that. How old were you when you naturalized?
I think I was 21 at the time.
Did you talk? And that, just to be clear, that citation for social host, that was before you naturalized, right?
That was before. That was 2017. Yes.
And did you file the N400 with or without a lawyer?
I filed it by myself.
So, and since that time, you've had the chance to talk to a lawyer named Jim, right?
Yes.
And so I think the position is that back in 2020, I didn't understand that a citation included a social host charge. You never would have been denied your citizenship for a social host citation. Now, if you knowingly lied about it, that would be something else. But of course, we didn't knowingly lie because we didn't know that's what they wanted to know about. So yes. I think I would disclose at this time, and I might even put a little explanation. Since the filing of my N400, I've come to learn that a citation included a ticket for social host, and that's why I'm disclosing it now and why I didn't disclose it earlier. I'm sorry that I didn't disclose it earlier. If I knew I had to, I would have.
Okay, so actually disclose it and write a supplement letter and relating that to the N400 form and why I put no on that. So is that what you're saying?
That's what I would do. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with the I-129F, what they're typically concerned with right there is, you know, whether you have any kind of sex crime or abuse crime, right? That's all Adam Walsh Act stuff and VAWA stuff. They want to make sure that you're not some kind of sex offender or domestic batterer that they need to protect your fiance from.
Okay.
So now I will say, here's an interesting point that might make you feel better. If you file an I-130 petition, I'm 99% sure it doesn't ask that question.
Okay.
So if you wanted to get married, which if you watch my video today, you know, or I think I know which video you're talking about, but generally these days, right now in 2023, I'm really down on fiance cases more than I am on spouse cases. And the reason for that is fiance cases have gone to the bottom of the pile as far as what they're concerned with and what they're working on faster. And there's this little provision that allows the State Department to treat fiance cases that have been pending for a really long time as if they expire, which they can't do with an I-130.
Okay.
So you may, if you're really, really, really anxious about this, I think you're okay doing it the way that we just discussed. But if you're really anxious about it, then go get married, do the I-130, and then you don't have to answer that question a second time.
Okay, that makes sense. I do have documents saying that my record is clear from the court and everything, and I did get a copy of the ticket saying that I'm not guilty with the stamp.
That stuff doesn't matter to USCIS. Whatever the state does or the county does, the state, it's still a citation. You still got cited. You still have to list it.
Right. Do I need to provide them those forms though when I file it?
What you doing the fiance?
Yeah, for the fiance as an attachment or like a.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you probably should. Yeah.
Okay. And then you said
again with the explanation.
And you said write a letter doing an explanation and relate that to the N400 why I put no on the form. Correct.
Say that again.
You said when I explain what happened, write a letter and then explain why I put no on the N400 and why I'm putting yes on this.
Yeah, I didn't understand what you were asking for. I would have been happy to disclose it. I didn't have a lawyer. I was only 20 or 21 years old. If I'd known, I would have submitted it. And in any event, I don't think that would have kept me from becoming a citizen. So I hope this is not a big deal.
Okay. All right. Well, yep. That's all my question. Thank you so much.
Bye, DP. See you, buddy. All right. We're just moving along. We're at the 33-minute mark. We are halfway through the Friday show. No show over the weekend, so our next show will be Monday at 4 p.m. Monday at 4 p.m., our usual time slot. And we are trucking towards episode number 400, and we're going to have a special guest. Might even do an extra long show. I don't know, Huli, when would 400 be? If let's see, what's Monday's going to be? What, 398? So then 99. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Okay. Yeah, good. All right, cool. So Jones says that popcorn thing is when people aren't listening to me and then I get mad and then it's fun to watch. Well, that could be. And Shabazz would not be included in the popcorn rule. We'll have to talk about that. Maybe what we'll do is for our 400th, maybe Amani and I can have popcorn while we're doing the show. How about that? We'll just sort of turn everything on its head. It's an interesting show. I mean, the first time I ever did the show was, of course, at one of Nora's softball practices. I was out in New Mel, Missouri, which is the end of the earth. And I was bored and I was going to be there for like 4 hours. So I just turned on Facebook Live and I started answering text questions. And since that time, I've always been surprised by how many people want to watch the show. And I've never really understood it until I started doing it more and more, especially when we started doing it live and in the studio and all that stuff. I mean, you guys let me know in the comments why you like to watch the show. I don't think it's just when I get mad. I think you guys feel like you're learning from other people. I think there's a little bit of a voyeuristic part where you get to see other people sometimes make mistakes, or, I'm 16 years in and I'm still surprised that I hear things I've never heard before. I heard about a case where a client lied to us from start to finish. Start to finish. And the worst part is, if they told us the truth, we could have gotten them the benefit they wanted, but they were too afraid to even tell us, which led to an interesting discussion between myself and one of the other attorneys in the office about whether or not you should always tell your lawyer everything. I think you should. I think you should tell your lawyer everything and let them decide. But anyway, we're going to have fun on, yeah, Andrea, just go ahead and leave a comment if you want to make me to make a new video. I'm happy to do it. I'm going to make some new videos next week. I should point out, oh yeah, so next 2 weeks, I'm going to be traveling the back half of those weeks. So we might not get to 4,000 until actually a week from Monday. We might only do 3 shows next week. What show is it? This is 397. So we have 398, 399, 400. Oh yeah. So we might have 400 next week. We'll have to talk about. All right. So I've been yammering on long enough. Let's head to Nikita. Hi, Nikita.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I had a quick question. So I'm a
Sure.
Burmese citizen, currently in the U.S. under F1 OPT working.
Nice.
And I won the DV lottery for the diversity visa lottery for 2022 to 2023. And then the last visa bulletin came out, which was at like the cutoff was at 21,000 and my number is 21,268. So I'm not in the cutoff, but is there
Are you talking about August, or the one that came out yesterday, or the one from July?
The one that came out yesterday? So it includes like the September cutoff too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't in the cutoff. So I guess like I'm kind of like that's where the fiscal year ends.
Well, I wouldn't give up yet.
Okay.
Are you ready to file?
I think so. Yeah. I have everything that I need.
The forms are all done and everything?
I mean, yeah, like I just printed it out and filled it on my own. So it's ready to go. Yeah.
But you've got like your medical done, and you paid the KCC fee and all that stuff?
I haven't done anything. I just have it. I have to do my medical though. So I haven't done anything.
So we have to assume that the visa bulletin is going to come out August 14th. We've had people in August get finally named in the visa bulletin and still get their green card. So you've got to, I blame and yell and complain about a lot of things at USCIS, but one thing they still have been able to do is get people with 6-week or even 4-week windows their green card. You might want to get our help on that, just so there's no mistake, because you can't afford any, because it's just, I think you know this, it's just a drop dead date. If you don't have it approved by September 30th, it's not happening. So I think you're still going to get your green card.
Okay, my question is that I'm not in the cutoff. Is that okay? My number is not in the cutoff.
You can't send it in yet, but I think that next month there'll be one more visa bulletin that's going to come out, and you'll be covered by it, I think.
Okay, so the September one that came out yesterday, I believe that's the anticipated one. That's not like the final one. Is that
right?
So there are chances that it would change.
I think so.
Okay, and so like for me right now would be like contacting the office and getting started on
Yeah,
it.
and this is an interesting question, because I actually haven't had this particular scenario happen. And I would want to talk to people here in the office and probably even talk to some other immigration lawyers. Even if the September one came out and it wasn't so great, I would still send it in.
Okay, so wouldn't
just because it's such a great benefit to you if you get the green card. Go ahead.
I'm like just 260 behind, so I'm pretty close to the cutoff.
Yeah.
The question that comes on my mind when you say that is that wouldn't that like just in case it gets rejected or something, wouldn't that like go and impact my H-1B in future or anything like that?
No, because the H-1B is a dual intent visa, so that's okay. You don't get any kind of intent problems. And moreover, the diversity visa is such a long shot of getting it. They don't hold it against you.
Okay, so I spoke to the office on Wednesday, and they said that if my number is not in the cutoff, there's nothing they can do. So should I give a call back again?
No, Julie's going to find your record for me and send it to me, and then I'm going to go fart around over the weekend and try to find if I can find an answer for you. Did you leave your phone number?
I think so, but like he said he will text me. He didn't. So is there any way I can like send it again?
Yeah. Why don't you email us one more time and say, this is Nikita. I called on Wednesday. I was in the show with Jim on Friday. Let's see what we can do.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, Nikita. See you. Thanks for calling. Let's see, Sahar. Sahar is here. Hello, Sahar. You're on mute, my friend.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
How you doing?
So, I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself, Jim?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, Sahar. Thank you. What's up?
Yeah, it's about my adjustment of status that I filed back in July 19th last year, 2022. So I've been checking the processing time for the I-130, and it's now at the National Benefit Center. So it says, before it was saying 37 and a half months, now it's saying 50 months. So I want to ask you when I can sue them.
So what was your status before you filed?
Pending asylum.
And how did you enter?
I entered with the visitor visa.
And when was that? When did you enter?
I entered back in end of June 2017.
And then when did you file for asylum?
October 2017.
And are you married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder?
No, this is based on my daughter. She is a U.S. citizen.
Ah, perfect. Okay, so you're an immediate relative. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's obviously over 21.
Yes.
And what's the I'm sorry, Sahar, what did you say the receipt date is?
July 19th, 2022.
So
almost 1 year.
Yeah. And if you were to have your green card interview, where would it be?
They don't do interview for parents of a U.S. citizen.
Sometimes they do. I just mean, what's the closest field? I just need to know where we would sue. That's
Detroit field office.
Oh, Detroit. Yeah. I would say, Sahar, if you hit that 1 year mark, let's sue them because they'll get working on that right away.
Okay. Because I have a pending asylum, I heard you saying that probably I need to wait 2 or 3 months before the one year.
That's just me. It's an art, not a science, but the Detroit field office is really good to work with when we sue. So, and the other thing is they always slow down green card cases when the person has an earlier asylum case pending. So whenever you're ready, you want to do it in September, October, that's fine with me. Whenever, but you sure as hell don't have to wait 57 months.
Sorry, I did not get the last part.
You said when you first started your call, you said that the processing times are now 50 or 57 months. You don't have to wait that long to sue them. I would, if you want to wait 15 months from the date of filing, I'm cool with that.
Okay, but it says for my I-130 and I-485, it's at the National Benefit Center, not at Detroit field office.
Oh, I know, but so we got in trouble for suing them too much in Maryland and in DC. So now we sue them where the person lives.
Okay. I want you to know also, like after 3 weeks from filing my adjustment of status package, I received a notice of continuous request for evidence. They requested about my birth certificate and also about the W-2 for my sponsor, financial sponsor. So I thought that things were going really quick because it took them only 3 weeks to send me a letter requesting more evidence. But then ever since I responded back to that, ever since never heard from them back.
Yeah, that's not so much that they were working on it quickly. It's that they have a checklist when the file comes in that the contractors look at, and they know right now that W-2s are really important and birth certificates of either of your daughter or of you are really important to those kinds of cases. So that's why they just sent out that request right away.
Okay, so probably I can sue them after 15 months.
I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Bye, Sahar. See ya. Yep, you too. My wife says we should open up an office in Detroit. I think that would be great. There are a lot of Arabs in Ann Arbor and Dearborn and Detroit. That would be a good place for us. I'm going to be in Detroit in October, I think. My niece is getting married. So that's going to be really fun. All the kids are coming, hopefully. So that'll be fun. Hey, I saw a really good point here. And I thank everybody for the comments as to why they watch the show. And I appreciate that. H&M said, I don't think episode 400 should be a maybe. I think H&M's right. So I will sit down tomorrow and I'll map out the rest of the days. I'll probably rig it so that it's Monday, a week from Monday. is what I'm probably going to do, because Monday's my favorite day for the show. It also seems to be everybody's fired up on Monday and ready to go. So we will do a special 400th episode probably a week from Monday. So that would mean I would do 98, 99 next week. I'm probably going to do 2 next week anyway, because I'm traveling Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that might just work out. Okay, cool. Let's see. Athil was here yesterday and I didn't get to her. Hi, Athil.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Jim, I contact with your office and asked them about my husband's case, and they told me everything is okay. I only want to be sure everything is under your supervisor. I want to be sure because I'm believing you.
Well, you're just so I'm sorry, Athil. I don't know. You're already a client of the firm.
I called them before 2 days and they sent me contract, but till now I didn't do anything.
Oh, because you're waiting to hear from me?
Yes. I told them I want to do everything through Mr. Jim. I wanted to be supervised for my case. If I need anything, I don't know, because this the first time.
Okay, I gotcha. I'll check out the notes from your call, and then we'll reach out to you. I'll either reach out to you over the weekend tomorrow when I'm working, or on Monday. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting.
Okay. Bye.
Thank
Athil.
you so
Thanks.
much. Have
Okay.
a good one.
Okay. Bye. Julio, you're keeping track of all this for me, right? Thank you. Let's see. Solomon, I can't talk to people that are driving, but I might not get to you anyway, so just keep going where you're going. Let's say hi to Eddie.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I just had a quick question on advanced parole. Initially, I had a I-1 or I-485 through a spouse. I had to redraw the application. Then I refiled with another spouse. And last Friday, my dad died in my home country, and I was trying to seek an emergency advanced parole. I do know that most lawyers have advised that it might be risky. I just wonder your thoughts and opinion on getting that.
First of all, I'm sorry about your dad. My dad passed away about 1.5 years ago. It's really tough. I'm sorry that happened.
Thank you.
What walk me through your immigration history before you married wife number 1 or spouse number 1 and spouse number 2?
F1 hit F1 back in 2011, then H1B, then spouse number 1 in 2016 while I was on H1B. Then 2022 divorced and redrew the application.
Wait. So when did spouse number 1 file your I-130?
2016.
And it was pending for 6 years?
The I-130 was approved, but the 485 was not approved.
Why?
There was really no reason that they gave us. I know the last interview we had, after that, nothing came off.
You had two interviews on that?
Yeah, we had 2 interviews.
And were they Stokes?
The second one was.
So they didn't believe something about the marriage, and then they just held on to it for 6 years, and then the marriage fell apart, which is what they were rooting for anyway.
Correct.
So then, okay, so I would assume then that once you married spouse number 1, that you had no other immigration status other than the pending 485.
Correct.
And then how long after the 485 was the 485, was it denied or what happened?
I redrew it right after the divorce. Yeah.
Right after. Okay. And then you married wife number 2?
Correct.
And then you filed for a whole new set of stuff, I-130, 485. And what's the receipt date on the 131 and all that other stuff?
About March of this year.
March of 23.
Correct.
So 4 months ago. Well, I can tell you that if you leave the United States, the green card without advance parole, the green card case is over.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think there's a good chance they don't let you back in at all, because I think there's something about your case that they don't like. I don't know what it is, but it sounds problematic. So I don't know what you would do if you left without advance parole. Whether I think you can get advance parole quickly. I mean, expedite requests don't really work that well. So I think you're sort of stuck until they approve it. or you leave and just see what happens. But I can't advise you to do that.
Sounds good.
Sorry, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your answer.
Good luck. Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's say hi to Raza. Hi, Raza.
Hi. Hey, sorry. I got my green card through employment based EB3 category. I received my green card in 2021 July. Okay. I then filed for my wife I-824. Okay, so the I-824 was approved and it went through the NVC and has been documentary qualified since November of last year. Okay.
Yep.
We are in July right now, and I did ask you a question regarding this, like if it's considered under employment or under family, and you did say that it does fall under employment. Okay. Now the question is, because of retrogression, I was trying to see what the priority date would be for the case. Would it be the same as my I-140 priority date?
I don't know.
How would I find the priority date for my wife's case? Because it's a follow to join kind of thing, right?
Right. I understand. Retrogression and long delays for green card cases is a relatively new thing. We haven't had that for like 4 or 5 years. So I just don't know the answer to your question.
Okay. So if I'm receiving the email that states every 60 days that your case is in line for an interview, this is the 60-day notice, does that potentially mean that it has not been affected probably? Again, random.
Well, yesterday the drop was really big, so it's hard to say. I think there's a chance of that, but I don't know that you should get your hopes up. I'm sorry, I don't have more information.
Okay, so it could potentially have been affected, even if it's a follow to join, correct? Potentially, we don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question that I should know the answer to, but I don't. I'm sorry.
So is there anything else that I could take steps right now or should consider?
No, I think you just got to wait.
Or do you think that I-130 would make sense at this point?
Well, no, not at this exact point, because we know that's 4 or 5 years right now. So I think you've got to go with what you got.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Raza. Yeah, that wasn't much help. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good. Thanks.
Okay. Andrea's here. Andrea, you with us?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, Mr. Jim.
Good afternoon, Ms. Andrea. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Okay, I have a cousin here. She came from Guyana on a visitor visa, and so she have a few questions for you. And so I'm gonna put her on. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. I came in on a visiting visa to visit my father who was diagnosed with cancer. I came in with my 3 kids. My father has been living here for a while now, over 30 years, and he is a citizen, but he has never applied for me. So now he's sick and he has nobody. And he's getting treatment and so on, but he doesn't have anybody and he wants me to stay. I'm calling for advice. What you think that the steps that I should take for that to happen?
Do you have a multiple entry visa or a one-time entry visa?
Multiple. 10 years.
When did you enter?
For 2 weeks.
Going into a week here.
Yeah.
Last Monday.
Last Monday.
And they gave you 6 months?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know if I said anything. I'm sorry about your dad's diagnosis. I don't know if I said that.
Yes. Thank you.
Sure. So I really, really, really want to encourage you to honor the 6 months that you got and not file for an extension.
Okay.
I know you want to be here with your dad, but from an immigration standpoint, they don't care. And so the most important thing from an immigration standpoint is is to maintain the validity of your 10-year. I mean, what I'm saying is, I would rather you be able to come here for 6 months every year than to try and stay an extra 6 months and then lose the ability to come at all.
Okay.
Now, if you tell me all Dad has left is 9 months and you want to use your visa for that purpose, then you could file for an extension. And I hate to put it in these sort of stark terms, but from a purely immigration standpoint, it's much better for you to leave on time, come on time, and sort of follow what they're saying you promised to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ask me to file, remember?
Yeah. If he was to file for me, would it make a difference?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, just because it's a 7-year wait right now.
Okay.
So he could file for you, and you have. I mean, that might not. I mean, if you think he's going to live 7 years, he could file for you, but that doesn't give you any right to stay while that's pending.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yep, you got it. Okay. Good luck to you and your dad. All right. Anna Maria is here.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. I have 3 quick questions for you.
Go for it.
So I work for a company. We already spoke once. I don't know if you remember, but I work for a company. We sponsor a few people. We brought someone with an L1 because he was a manager. He came with his family, and we renew his L1, and then we applied to adjust his status. And he started the process in January. His wife got the fingerprints, the employee authorization. He got the fingerprints. He and his daughter got the fingerprints months after. They did it, and it's not reflected in the USCIS portal. You know, when you get your fingerprints done, it says fingerprints were applied to your case or whatever. It doesn't show, it doesn't say anything. Is that normal?
Yeah.
And should he worry about that? Because I mean, I guess his main concern is that his wife process is going super smooth, and he is the main petitioner, and his hasn't moved at all.
Two things. One is, did he usually, when you do biometrics, they stamp it to show that you showed up? Does he have that?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And number 2, has he called USCIS to make sure that they have in their records that his biometrics were obtained?
No, he hasn't.
So I would have him do that.
Okay, so he should call USCIS and just make sure that they got it.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then another thing is, I talked to you earlier. I told you that my H-1B was expiring next year, and that I was in the process of adjusting my status. And you said I should get my H-1B renewed again, just in case. But I just wanted to let you know that I did get my green card.
Nice.
Yeah, last month. So
EB2.
it's an EV3 skill.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yes.
How long start to finish?
So I started in 2020, the whole process, but my priority date was July 2021.
So it took like a year to get the DOL stuff done, the prevailing wage and everything?
Yeah, and I got my request for evidence for my DOL, and then I got I sent my package to USCIS and they returned it. So I wasted a few more weeks in that.
Yeah.
But since I adjust because I did first the I-140 with
And it got approved.
premium processing, and
Yeah.
then I adjust status because I was waiting for my husband to come to the States so we can adjust together. So
How
he
long-
didn't have to wait.
How long did it take for the I-140?
5 days because I paid premium processing.
And then how long for the 45?
I did it January 23, and I got my green card approved on June 2023. So 5
6
months exactly.
Nice. And your husband too?
Yeah, he got it too at the same time.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I just
Congratulations.
wanted to
that
let
makes
you
me
know
happy.
so you guys
Yeah.
know like the
No, that's good.
timelines.
I appreciate the timelines. I always need to know the timelines. Thanks, Anna Maria. Anything else?
Yes, one more question. So we have someone who was planning on coming on an AV1, without the DOL, just going to the National Intelligence Wave. But I saw the visa bulletin for August, and
Yeah.
it says August 2023. So if she comes like in the middle of August or September, she won't be able, if it doesn't move, she won't be able to adjust her status, correct?
What? Yeah. So that, you mean you're talking about yesterday with the visa bulletin?
Yeah, for the August one.
So I got to pull it up. Hold on.
Because the final action date for the
Yeah.
first category is August 2023, 1st of August of 2023.
As opposed to being current.
Yes.
Right.
The final action, but the filing one, it's current. So
Right. So people are sort of freaked out about this. I don't know exactly what to say just because I'm exhausted and I don't want to give bad advice.
okay, that's good. And also, just for in case, for my category, that was the third one, right? Last Monday was 2022 and now it's 2020. So it went back for a lot.
Yep.
I don't know why, but just in case you guys were wondering, because I check
Yeah,
that on a
no,
daily basis.
Everybody's talking about it. I'm glad you got it when you did.
Yes, me too. Otherwise, I think I would be back stuck over there.
Yep.
Well,
Thanks, Anna Maria.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Okay.
You
Have a
too.
good weekend. Thanks for the call. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. The next show will be episode 398, and we will do that. Maybe we'll do 3 shows next week and do one of them called like 398 and a half or something. But anyway, episode 398 will be Monday at 4:00. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be kind to each other. Send good vibes to everybody who's suffering, especially with parents who have cancer, who have passed away. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.